Hey there, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Saturday, December 24th, and first things first, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, and Happy Holidays to all. And this is going to be a pretty short, weekend update. Just give you, if you have, 10 minutes or so to watch. It's going to give you a brief update of basically the view of the market in multiple time frames, just the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ. And we're just going to jump right in right here, right now. 2-year chart daily of the S&Ps, and you can see what sticks out to me the most is this 1185 level is the point of control, and we're sitting above those levels. And in fact, here's the 1185 level. We've had a pretty nice bounce off of that general level. It got within 10 points. It's like close enough. And basically we're seeing some higher lows. And this thing looks like it has potential to really get going to the upside. I look at this trend line that's formed. And I see that we're starting to poke our head out. There will be more confirmation once we close above perhaps the 1267 level, which was this swing high here. That would confirm a higher high, and that would be a definite positive for the S&Ps. It's nice to see these higher lows. So it looks like this wedge pattern that we've been covering looks to be testing the breakout on the upside. And if that's the case, we should go test 1289 to 1300 pretty quick. So this is the daily view of what's going on. As far as to break it down some, the S&Ps, remember, we are looking at a breakout to the upside after we broke down from this trend line, and now we're seeing some nice follow through to the upside. One thing that's important is we had a December point of control up at this 1255 level. When price was down at these lower levels, it shifted, and it kept shifting up as the market climbed, and now the point of control is up at the very top of the range, 1255 to 1257, and we closed above that on Friday. So that's light volume, but it's positive, and it shows you that maybe this thing, not only is it above the 2-year point of control, but it's climbed above the monthly point of control, which was at the top of the range to begin with, which would normally signal a sell into strength type of move. So that's very impressive that the market keeps climbing. It really shows you that maybe this thing has another 20-30 points of upside. So let's go into the Dow. Actually, let's go to back to the 2-year. Alright, the Dow on the 2-year, you can see it's a similar picture. We basically had a nice breakout to the upside, a nice higher low, where against the 2-year point of control. Look how huge this volume is relative to anywhere else. And look how we've bounced off of that level. We've basically had a huge move from more than the bottom of the channel up to the top of the channel, up to printed a new high. Came back to test basically this important balance area, which I'm sure we'll be able to see what that is on the month on the monthly composites. And now we have 4 days in a row of nice price movement, and we want to see this thing break out. One thing to recognize is you can see the top of this high volume area at 12,250, let's call it, on the mini Dow futures. So it's just a level to be reckoned with. There may be some selling pressure, and it's worth basically paying attention to. But overall, if this thing gets going, we should go test. We should make a run. Not saying it'll get to 13,000, but we should make a run to it. In the NASDAQ, actually, let's go back to the Dow. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. The Dow monthlies to see what's going on, and basically the lows that we saw in December was basically a test of this breakout. It was the value area low for November, and you can see some decent volume, decent swing lows have occurred at these levels. So this, what was it, 11,700, close enough. So since then, the market, was in a bullish wedge pattern, broke out to the upside, successfully traded at December's point of control and closed higher every time. And now we're really, we broke out of this high volume area. Now we're close to white space. We just have this psychological level, 12,250, and we're 30 points away from that. So this looks poised. Just realize that, it has had a nice run, just like everything else. But if it's based off of that 2-year point of control, think about the buying pressure that's basically pushing this market higher. As long as the price action, the amount of buyers and sellers are over you on such, or I should say, that level is under you, and you're bouncing off those levels, that's 2 years worth of price action. That's a lot of movement, and it's showing with the recent moves we've had in the market. So it looks pretty good. And let's see, NASDAQ, back to where I was getting at. Alright, this sector, it's been an interesting one because people keep commentary, how weak the performance is. And relative, it has been pretty weak, especially the last week or so the market's rallied. But we have very important lows at 2,200 to 2,220. And you can see, even in this mess down here, every time price got down to this 2220 level, call it, it's been right to be a buyer. And every time practically it's gone nearly 180 points to the upside on the NASDAQ 100. And we're getting a bounce there again. And I don't think you take this off your radar. I think you stay involved in technology stocks that are working, because some of them, they have very nice beta, and the price movement on them is very, obviously if the S&P moves 1%, they're probably going to be up 2 or 3%, or I should say NASDAQ. And I think that's something that you want to be aware of and try to catch those names at a low risk, high opportunity support level. Therefore, if NASDAQ starts to turn around and really start to get going, you probably have, 1 or 2 of the names that are going to, or have the potential to appreciate the most in price. And so long as these levels hold, you can see the strong volume at these levels. We're probably going to go and test 2320 to 2340 on the upside. At least I would hope so. And even so, that is about 3 to 5% of additional upside in the NASDAQ. So I think people may be taking their eye off the ball and, looking away from NASDAQ, which is fine for now, but I think it just, keep your eye on it, that's all. And in December, we'll use this October or September point of control. So the September point of control, generally speaking, it's been a bottoming pattern. You can see, you can make a case for reverse head and shoulders right here or something like that. But basically a reversal. And we got a point of control shift to the bottom of the range on sometime, whatever day this was this week, the 21st. And we've had a nice reversal since. We're back at the top of the range. And while S&P and the Dow have been making new highs, NASDAQ has not, relative to this past week's rally. And what we're looking for is maybe this thing has enough buying pressure, whether it's short covering or just outright buyers, or perhaps the lack of sellers, that can push this thing. If we clear above this 2360 level to what it looks like on this monthly chart, it could be a nice move for the NASDAQ. And I kind of just connect the highs, looking at, maybe this is some type of trend line resistance. Basically, what I mean by that is every time it's been anywhere close to those price levels, have you want to be a buyer or a seller? And it's been pretty clear you've wanted to be a seller at those levels. And now that we have the monthly point of control under us, maybe that's enough, enough potential to really push this market higher. You can also see relative. Well, you can't. You can count this, but look at where that original sell point came from. Major lows. Even here, pretty decent run. And now we're just, it's just another higher low, and we're really looking for some type of upside breakout. So I think you want to stay involved in the market until it basically tells you to sell, which would basically mean some type of retracement from these recent trading levels. And I would use point of controls for the day. I would use point of controls for the week, and in just high volume areas in general, and just correlate them into, how to trade these markets. So I think the Dow looks the best, followed by the S&Ps and the Nasdaq, with potential to hopefully catch up. And if they try to catch up, it will be, probably a nice pop for them. So I hope this helps as a weekend update, and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on Monday.